Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another solo fighter video. This was one of the earlier raids I'd actually done in the playtest, and it turned out to be one of the silliest and funniest raids I've done to date. Just some of the stuff that happened was, I don't know how else to say it other than pretty comedic, so yeah, it's definitely worth sticking around to see some of the silliest dark and darker content I've ever seen. But yeah, I hope you're all doing well. It's a bit of a tough period without the dark and darker playtest. I don't know how the rest of you are feeling, but in the comments it's pretty clear that we're all missing it like crazy, and nothing is really filling that void. It's a pretty unique game, one of a kind, and we need it back. But yeah, looks like, I don't remember exactly how this restarted. Looks like we started at the top left of the map. And we made our way into the centre, going through those nifty little trapdoors at the moment. Those trapdoors are really nice to avoid taking direct lines through the dungeon. A good way to cut through into the circle, if it's not in the direction that is easiest for you. But yeah, I'm using a halberd in this run, and the halberd is kind of up there, I'd say, with the spear and some of the other polearms. It's definitely very strong if you have the right stats on it. It's got a pretty nice moveset for the most part. It just struggles when people get really close to you. But again, so do most polearms, so it's not really unique to the weapon. Once again, packing a crossbow as well. As I always say, as a fighter, you definitely want to have a ranged weapon, just so you're a bit more versatile in combat. Someone recently asked why I use the big crossbow over the smaller one, because there's a damage reduction with the big one, as it's not usable by fighter without the multi-class perk. And the reason I like to use the big one is because it does a lot of damage for one shot. I think with I had a purple recently, and it had, I think it was 69 damage on one hit. And if you manage to hit someone for 69 damage, even with the 20% damage reduction, that is pretty much half of their HP right off the bat. So if you manage to hit that shot, it makes kind of getting into close quarters combat a whole lot easier, especially against a group of 2 or 3 people. But yeah, anyway, this is where the fun begins in this big room. I start to deal with the skeletons and take them out. Looks like I leave the archers for now, because there's not much point in me taking them out just now. If I was doing a 0 to hero run, I would definitely take out those archers, because it's obviously a good chance that they drop a bow. Getting a bow at the start is optimal. But since we're already in pretty geared, I decided just to opt for chilling out and looking for other players for the most part. Looks like someone killed this barbarian pretty early on, or maybe it was a skeleton or a wraith. He still had some of his loot on him, so good chance it was just a skeleton. If you find AI around a body that's not been tampered with, like that skeleton, probably died to AI. But yeah, as you can see, as was said in the title, these are the 3 bald men. Now it was like a group of cavemen kind of hoarding the AI around this big room. And I couldn't help myself but just watch for a little bit. I think it was a cleric, a wizard, and a fighter. I do overstep a little bit here, and I aggro some of the AI and get myself in a bit of a bad position. And one of them starts sniping me. I believe it was a ranger, a wizard, and a cleric. But yeah, I managed to escape, kind of bait them to follow me. Get inside this room. You'll see there, the ranger is pursuing me. Unfortunately, this shot did not register through the door. I think I was a bit too close with the big crossbow. But this is where it gets funny. As I go back inside, they are actually cornered by the AI. The wizard ends up killing himself, The archer gets slapped by Will Smith.
Oh!
And the last one, I'm able to take out with one quick, easy swipe. Really, it's just pretty embarrassing by them. I was a bit confused as to exactly what went down when I was playing. But when I rewatched, I was I had a good laugh to myself, to say the least. I also don't understand why they were all naked. None of them had clothes on. They were all just naked cavemen with bowl cuts. But yeah, that was definitely one of the more entertaining things I've witnessed in the playtest. But it gets better. You know, you'd think, how can you trump that? That was pretty absurd. That's like a once in a lifetime kind of witnessing. But yeah, it definitely does get worse. So we loot up what we can. Always worth checking that chest in the middle to see if it's open or not. A lot of the times it does require a lockpick. Unless if you're another rogue, it's, you're probably not going to have a lockpick on you. I have a bit of trouble finding lockpicks. But kind of towards the end of the playtest, I started to note down a few places where you can get them. I don't know if you guys know the big library. That is one of the few places where you can find them on the desks, kind of scattered around that room. Definitely a good place to look out for them, if you do need them. Dungeon cells as well. I've seen a couple in dungeon cells, kind of lying on the tables. Other than that though, I do not seem to find many lockpicks. I'd like to see maybe a few more dotted around the map in different places in the next playtest. But I suppose it's a unique advantage for the rogue to be able to open pretty much every chest in the game. Bit of a unique class perk. But yeah, we head into this kind of big 4-quadrant room. Kind of nice pair of gauntlets. But we like our physical damage bonus. Those gauntlets would be good for a cleric though. I'm thinking about making a video on all of the stats in Dark and Darker as well, kind of explaining how they all work, the buffs and benefits, so I'll maybe do that if I get some time before the next playtest. Because I was actually doing some research into the stats and they're quite in depth. Most of them have diminishing returns and stuff, but some of them are pretty unique in the way that they scale. Pretty interesting stuff. I really am just in love with this game and how it works. It's got a lot of depth to it that you don't see right from the start. But yeah, the circle's getting a bit smaller now. And I believe we are about to have our second dumb encounter. This raid was very much Dumb and Dumber situation. Find ourselves a nice red portal in there. We're not really interested in going down to hell. Done a few hell runs, but really I prefer the nice PvP that's in these dungeons up top. I'm not sure how it works exactly. I'm not sure if two groups go down to hell in the same raid. I'm not sure if they go down to hell together or if they go into separate raids, but every time I've gone down to hell, it's just been us versus AI. And I do prefer to have players in my game, for the most part. But definitely good for farming gold and for farming gear. But yes, it is here that we are ambushed by Gandalf. He begins to throw pretty much every spell at us that he can. Launching fireballs like he's got a built-in flamethrower. So I hide behind this box, give myself a bit of cover. Get some potions. I get him with a good crossbow hit. And as I run out, he chain lightnings me And I have no idea how this works, but I think it backfired on him, or it reflected because of the protection. Or perhaps since he had chain lightning, it chained back to himself, since we were the only two people in the room. But yeah, that was kinda silly, I'll be honest. He was pretty geared too. He had some nice rare trinkets on him. Green spellbook, and a few nice pieces of armor. But yeah, just absolutely absurd encounters, this raid. A suicidal wizard, and 3 bald men who pretty much killed themselves as well. I feel like I didn't need to do much work this raid. And we do run into another group here. You can hear them on the other side. It sounded like they were through that door. Still like they're having a bit of trouble with skeletons. We are a little low, however, so taking a fight isn't really the best for us here. And we do not have our second wind up anymore. So I opt for jumping into the circle, dispatching of the skeleton, and since we've got pretty much a full inventory, and we've seen enough for today to last us a whole lifetime, I decide just to get out. But yeah, absolutely the silliest raid I've had to date. And that is pretty much the end of the video, guys, so I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one.